All right, everyone, I'm roped in. I'm not going to get lost. Let's go talk about Tethered. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm going to do a 5-minute review on the new horror film Tether, which is coming to theaters and digital on March 18, 2022. So it's already out. Sorry, I was a little bit late. So a 5-minute review means I'm going to talk about the film for 5 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'm going to cut it off no matter where I am. My hot take is I think you should rent it. I like the concept and I liked the overall buildup, but there are some story issues I thought, and the payoff for the film isn't really worth the overall journey that you have. So in Tethered, you have a blind teenager named Solomon who's living in the North Carolina wilderness. Now, it's a very mysterious story. You don't get much backstory in the film. All you know is he is living with his mother. His father is somewhere else. And then eventually his mother abandons him someday. She like teaches him all these rules for how to survive. And one of the main things about his survival is he has a rope that is tied to his house. And so when he goes out into the woods, he goes out into the woods to like check traps, sometimes forage for things. He has this rope behind him all the time so he can find his way back. Now, one day his mother abandons him. And so he has to live on his own, but still kind of following the same rules. The things I liked about this movie, the first is I liked the setting. The setting is a really good setting for this kind of like post-apocalyptic-ish horror film. You've got this, secluded cabin in the middle of this meadow surrounded by trees. So it's like the perfect setup for a horror film where you've got like something foreboding in the distance and you also don't really know what's going on. There's not a lot of technology in this cabin, so you don't get like news reports or anything like that. All you know is Solomon is pretty much alone. He goes out into the forest. Occasionally something weird happens, but that does really help for a film like this where you do have a lot of tension and a lot of buildup. The second thing I liked is the concept. Like, I thought it was an interesting concept. Solomon is blind, so he's following these rules, and the rope is an interesting idea to like tether him back to the house. Thus, the film Tethered. So I like that overall idea, and I thought it was a pretty clever way to start this horror film. And the last thing I liked is the buildup. You don't get a lot of information about the story, but I think that's pretty good. It's nice to like not necessarily know what all is going on. It's nice to like just kind of live in the moment with Solomon and try to figure out what's going on from context clues. He doesn't get that many context clues. Eventually he does get some more information, but still you don't know a lot about what's going on. And it's just kind of fun to see Solomon kind of survive in this unique way. So the first thing I didn't love is, I guess, the general concept. Now, I know I said I liked the concept, but when I stopped and thought about it, like this rope going through the forest, my first thought is it's going to get tangled on like a tree on his way back. He's going to have to backtrack because it's going to get stuck. Like, I can't even pull my hose through my yard that doesn't have trees without getting stuck on something. So when I thought about like this rope going through this dense forest, it just seemed like a nightmare. Now I understand the idea behind it. It's an interesting idea to like put him in this place, anchor him to this point, and also, they do some play with the rope, but I don't think they do enough. And I think that the impracticalities were bugging me throughout the film. The second thing I didn't love is, I guess I'll call it the rules. Now, there are going to be some spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the film, you don't want to know about the film, turn this off now. I'm going to talk a little bit about some things that happen later in the film, and then I'm going to talk briefly about the ending. So turn this off now if you don't want to know what happens in the film. But so the rules are, one of the rules is when you hunt for two. You have like one for you and one for the forest. And when he goes to the forest, he basically just goes to the edge of the forest and just throws it in, which I thought was an interesting idea, except later when we find out that there is something in that forest, it wouldn't be able to get to him. So like by him throwing the food back, it wasn't doing anything. I think it would have been better if he would have had to go to the end of the rope, which is where like his radius ended, and that other things also ended. They kind of like intersected at that point, and throw it there. The last thing I did not love is the ending. I thought the ending didn't really live up to the buildup that we had. So eventually Solomon meets another person, another traveler, who kind of befriends him and then gives him an extension of the rope so they can go a little bit farther in the forest, see a few more things. But what happens is that person gets attacked later on when he goes out by himself, and Solomon goes out to try to find him. He finds his friend killed, and then there's this like creature off in the distance, and you can see it's his mother, but Solomon can't hear. And then so when Solomon is scared, he starts singing the song. It's one of the rules when your will's almost gone, he sings this song. And so he starts humming that song, and then that monster starts humming the song, and from that he realizes that it's his mother. So when that monster is about to attack, they actually embrace. And then while Solomon's hugging her, he pulls out a knife and like shivs her a bunch of times. And he's mercifully killing her.